Dr. Phil.
Pretty sure Dr. Phil will agree with me because I've been studying psychology since I was 3 years old.
Since you were 3?
Yes, sir.
Were you reading when you were 3?
Yes, sir.
Freud?
Everything I could get my hands on.
Where we are on national TV airing our dirty laundry.
That's America. How many of these people will we ever see in our lifetime? I want to admit it in front of America. I am a jerk. I am the biggest jerk.
Let's do it.
Have a good show, everybody. Here we go.
This is a safe place to talk about hard things.
Stand by. We'll count you down.
Today is going to be a changing day in your life.
5, 4.
Get ready to take care of you. You know, when you look at your life, ask yourself the question, do you settle for things? We all settle for something, right? Whether it's your job or maybe it's in your relationship. At times, most of us have accepted less than we know we truly deserve. So why do we say stuck in these types of situations? Well, we're going to talk about that today, and I want you to be asking yourself lots of questions along the way. Justin says his relationship with his fiancée of 11 years, Elizabeth, is actually worse than stuck. He says it's broken and unfixable. He claims they don't do anything together. They don't sleep in the same bed. They barely even speak to one another. The only thing they do is have loud and violent fights that have resulted in the police being called 19 times in the last 2 years. And these fights, well, they often happen in front of their 2 young daughters. Justin claims that he, and I quote, knows psychology, and in his professional opinion, believes it's time to get himself and his girls, quote, the hell away from their mother. He says he's here to get unstuck one way or another. Take a look.
There's absolutely no trust or communication between me and my fiancée, Elizabeth. She is so pig-headed, volatile, and uncompromising. Our relationship has become one giant nightmare. I believe that her and me spend about 90% of the day bickering over
Sit there, pick and pick and pick and pick and pick. What do you expect me to be? No, I'm gonna freak the
Elizabeth physically, emotionally, and verbally attacks me. She has stabbed me with screwdrivers, kicked me, and even punched me in the face. Our biggest issue is that Elizabeth cheated on me, and I've never gotten over it.
Am I sorry? Yes. I understand you're hurt. I'm not saying you don't have a reason to be hurt.
Hurt? I gave everything to you. We fight about everything. I feel like she's an idiot when it comes to parenting, and she feels like I'm an idiot when it comes to
No, I don't
parenting.
feel like you're an idiot. I feel like you're
I'm trying constantly to teach Elizabeth that yelling and screaming is not the way to punish the children. I'm left to do all the comforting, the caring, the disciplining. Basically, I'm being mom and dad, and that's not fair. I don't think that you should just yell and scream and then give up 5 minutes into it.
I try, but then when I get to the point where I feel like I'm about to snap,
You
I
quit.
Yeah, because I don't want to end up my kids.
I told Elizabeth to call Dr. Phil, and if Dr. Phil doesn't agree with me that my parenting style is correct, I will admit I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure Dr. Phil will agree with me on my assessment because I've been studying psychology since I was 3 years old.
Wow.
A lot to take in.
She attacks you physically.
Yes, sir.
How does she attack you physically?
Well, she's jumped up on me. Like I said, she's attacked me with screwdrivers. She's kicked me. She's punched me. She's thrown things at me.
Like tried to stab you?
Yes, sir.
What precipitated that?
Me saying something she disagreed with.
You've been studying psychology since you were 3?
Yes, sir.
Were you reading when you were 3?
Yes, sir.
Freud or?
Everything I could get my hands on. Apparently, my mom had told me that even from an early age that she had read to me, as well as I picked up reading at 3 years old. I was completely deaf at that time, so I had no way to reciprocate what I was thinking, but I picked up books quite early.
You were deaf at 3?
Yes, sir. I had a augment in my ear that stopped me from hearing.
Yeah. I bet you wish you were deaf now. When
Sometimes. Sometimes.
Hearing everything that you're hearing from her. You say she is childish, pig-headed, and stubborn.
Yes, sir.
You're aware that she had a rough upbringing.
Yes, sir.
Okay, do you take that into account in your attempts to manage her?
Yes, sir. That's why I'm still here.
Yeah. But you've pretty much given up hope.
Yes, sir.
You have been together 11 years and refer to each other as fiancés. That's a pretty long engagement.
Yes, sir.
Why have you never taken that walk down the aisle?
Because for the last 19 years, I've been trying to divorce a young lady.
But you just recently got a divorce.
Yes, sir.
Finally, 6 months ago?
Yes, sir.
So finally, you...
Swear I won't forget this, why do I regret this? In my mind reckless, thoughts are feeling endless. Sitting up I'm breathless, anxiety's infectious. I feel so defenseless, betrayed and embarrassed. I hate being open, I hate being broken. I feel like an ocean filled up with emotion. Anger ain't a potion, rub it on like lotion. I can feel it soaking, reopen, the scars have awoken. I can't move on till I let go. I feel so lost, never at home. Need to be strong, every breath hold. Cause I can't move on till I let go. I can't move on till I let go. I feel so lost, never at home. Need to be strong, every breath hold. Cause I can't move on till I let go. The pain makes it real. I don't wanna feel, I just wanna kill. The bad thoughts are still a good thought and feel. I'm just lost to feel, I'm just lost to feel. I need time to heal, I can't steer the wheel. Cause this drive it kills, and it gives me chills. A nice road it feels, I slip off the field and crash all the steel. Will I ever heal? I can't move on till I let go. I feel so lost, never at home. Need to be strong, every breath hold. Cause I can't move on till I let go. I can't move on till I let go. I feel so lost, never at home. Need to be strong, every breath hold. 'Cause I can't move on till I let go.
You are free to marry,
Yes, sir.
but you're not racing down to the church with her.
Not until I know that she can learn that it's going to take two to be parents and it's going to take two to be a marriage.
Okay. Now, you say you're the type of dad that does everything with your girls.
Yes,
You'll
sir.
have tea parties with them.
Yes, sir.
Play with Barbies. Just do whatever the girls want to do. And she just doesn't engage at all.
Not at all.
And now Elizabeth has cheated on you.
Yes, sir.
And how long ago was this?
Approximately between 5 and 6 years.
Okay. And to be totally honest, you've not gotten over that.
Sir, I still have my resentment, and I've tried, like any good man would, to try to let it go, as they say. But there's one major conflict. The device.
She stays on it, you say, every waking hour.
20 hours out of 24, she's on that device, social media.
And that's where this cheating took place. This was cyber sex, right?
Yes, sir. The only reason that I'm still here and engaging with her is because it was only cyber sex.
Okay.
Had it been real, I would have picked my stuff up and left.
Okay. And the girls know about this.
Unfortunately, yes. They're very, very intuitive.
Well, you've told them about it.
Yes.
In fact, you use them to help keep an eye on her.
Sometimes I do, unfortunately, because my insecurity is that bad.
Okay. So they report back to you?
Yes.
Okay. What do they say?
They're looking for any angle to get mommy out of the picture. As a parent, it's hard to lie to your children, especially when they know. Children know when something's going on. And it's hard to keep that from them. It really is.
Yeah. So you took them into your confidence.
Yes.
And they're how old?
9 and 7.
Okay. So y'all fight in front of them. You get attacked in front of them. You've shared with them that she's cheated on you. You've enlisted them to spy on her, and they're trying to get rid of her.
Well, I wouldn't say enlisted. That's the wrong word. More as though I've tried to stop them, but both of my children have oppositional defiance disorder. So trying to get them to do something is like a rock in a hard place. And I've told them we shouldn't treat mommy like the enemy because we're a family. We have to work through this together. I have a right to be mad at mommy. They don't. I have a right to be upset with mommy. They don't. I have a right to be resentful towards mommy. They don't. And they're daddy's girls. They really are. They're daddy's girls.
Well, Justin says that his fiancée Elizabeth is pig-headed, volatile, childish, untrustworthy, a bad parent. In fact, just a bad person. Elizabeth says Justin is controlling, overbearing, demeaning, and verbally abusive. Sounds like a match made in heaven. We're going to meet the other half of this charmed couple when we come back.
I started talking to 3 other men online.
At the time, I just felt like Justin didn't care about me.
So you think that just playing the victim and crying is always
I'm
going to
not
get you
playing the
away?
victim or crying. I don't know why Justin's so upset. It was just cyber sex. He just needs to get over it.
Tomorrow.
We came on the Dr. Phil show to try to locate Dylan.
We sat here across from the man that's now been convicted of killing your son. If you guys hadn't pushed, I don't believe he would have been held to account.
I was not going to let that happen.
Her 2 grandchildren died just 3 months apart.
I was told her injury was as if she had fallen 3 stories.
That's tomorrow. Then, on Wednesday, a 14-year-old full of rage.
Your mother's hitting her, and she's hitting your mother. And, Carlos, you're videotaping this while you're brushing your teeth. The hell are you thinking?
That's Wednesday.
On me. She was talking to 3 different guys on my computer and her phone. It's almost impossible for me to get over it when she's on her phone 20 hours a day. It has become a visual reminder to me of her cheating. It's like watching a crackhead with an addiction. 50% of the time, I start the fights by asking where she's going or who she's talking to. Her responses are, don't worry about it, it's not your business. It is so hard to resist the urge to go out and do to her what she's done to me, but I have done my best and I have remained faithful.
Elizabeth says her relationship with her fiancé, Justin, is barely holding on by a thread. She claims he's overly controlling, treats her like a child, and she's become like a prisoner without the shackles. And it's in her own home.
Justin is overbearing, controlling, and demeaning. And when I say controlling, I mean super controlling. I'm tired of you being an overbearing tyrant.
I'm not a tyrant.
Yeah, you are. It's always got to be your way or the highway. Justin thinks he's this know-it-all because he read all these child psychology books. He also has the kids watching me and my every move, making sure I'm not cheating on him. He's turned our girls into his little minions. The way you come at me makes me feel like I'm a piece of
I'm just sick and tired of you giving up on yourself and then dragging me and those children through it.
Our relationship got bad when I started talking to 3 other men online. At the time, I just felt like Justin didn't care about me anymore.
So you think that just playing the victim and crying is always
I'm
going to
not
get you
playing the
away?
victim or crying.
Well, you do that 99% of the
No,
time.
I'm actually speaking my feelings. 2 of the guys I was talking to were just platonic friends. But with one of the guys, the conversation became sexual. I don't know why Justin's so upset. It was just cyber sex. He just needs to get over it. I'm on my phone a lot to ignore him because of the way he speaks to me.
I've had every opportunity to destroy this.
Or if I don't get off my phone, you threaten to shove my phone down my throat. Our worst fights happen when he locks me out of the house. One time my temper got the best of me, and so I picked up a brick and threw it through the front window. Our oldest daughter was standing in front of the window, and luckily it didn't hurt her. I need to get Justin to stop accusing me of sleeping with everyone under the sun. Yeah, and treating me like garbage. I'm not asking you to kiss my ass. I'm telling you to talk to me like a human being. I believe Justin and I are still in love. I'm hoping Dr. Phil can tell us how to coexist and be a family. I mean, I just don't want to give up.
Free.
Go ahead.
Hard to grasp.
Go ahead and speak your mind, Dr. Phil.
I don't need your permission.
Learn how. It's okay to show.
Now, he says he's been studying psychology since he was 3,
Yeah.
which I
Go ahead.
find...
Hard to grasp.
Go ahead and speak your mind, Dr. Phil.
I don't need your permission,
Okay, I'm sorry. Sorry.
but thank you for it anyway.
Sorry. Wasn't trying to be rude.
No, I find that to be a pretty outrageous claim, but you say that he's controlling, overbearing, judgmental, demeaning, and belittling.
Yes.
If he's so steeped in psychological wisdom and know-how, how do you explain the fact that he chooses the least productive way to engage?
I think it's mostly his resentment towards me from what happened 6 years ago with me cybering with some other guy.
Everything I feel, you blatantly disrespect and automatically try to tell me that what I'm thinking is wrong, what I'm feeling is wrong. Now tell me something. If you love someone, is that what you do on a daily basis? You take how they feel, what they think, and throw it down? Yes, I'm guilty of it. I will admit it. I will admit it in front of America. I I'm a jerk. I am
You're more than a
the
jerk.
biggest jerk that I know. I'll admit it.
Thank you for that. You call her bitch, dumb bitch, bum, the word, stupid hoe, fat hoe, worthless bitch.
Gold. He's called me a gold digging chasing hoe. He's called me a gold digging, which of course it's kind of hard that the dude has no job, so it's kind of hard to dig gold when there's no money to begin with.
Ain't no gold here.
No, but he acts like he's got all these millions and everything.
That's right.
Well, but what you say she disrespects you, but you call her all of those names?
Barely. She gets me heated once in a great while. Usually about once a month, we'll have a heated argument. And
Oh, well, it's just once a month.
right, and those words don't come out as much as they, like, the producers obviously think they do. It's just those are some of the referenced words that do come out.
How much is too much and how much is enough? What you say?
More
they
than
don't-
1% is too much.
Okay, so they do come out too much.
Yes.
Okay, so there's not a level at which it's okay.
Yeah, there's no level of fairness
So
in
are
this.
we
It's-
talking about frequency or are we talking about acceptability?
None of it's acceptable. None of it.
Okay, then what are we talking about?
We're talking about two people acting like children.
Okay, well, I thought we were talking about her acting like a child.
Well, I'm taking accountability as well as what she's done to me. We both act like children.
Okay. Because I'm curious, one of the things you said is that you agreed to come because one of the things you wanted to know is if I would validate you as a parent that you were doing it right. What about your behavior of involving your children in adult issues, engaging your children in monitoring their mother, calling their mother every name in the book, and fighting in front of them? What about that you thought I would validate?
None of it. The aspect I was concerned with was you validating of me feeling like I'm going nuts and this shouldn't go on.
For the last 5 days, you've been doing a Dr. Phil impersonation, telling me how he thinks you're
And
so
it's
right.
damn good, too.
Justin, just stop, please. Don't do that.
I'm not allowed to live
No, but
life
it's
to the
embarrassing.
fullest.
We already are on national TV airing our dirty laundry.
That's America. How many of these people will we ever see in our
I
lifetime?
know, but still.
We have to look at each other every single day when we raise those children. Yes or no?
Yeah.
Justin says he's proud he's never gotten physical with Elizabeth, despite how volatile their fights are.
Yeah.
Although he was arrested for domestic violence and assaulting her with a deadly weapon, which I think is a little overstated, but we'll talk about that after the break. Closed captioning provided by...
I'm asleep on the couch, and I awoke to Elizabeth and our eldest daughter fighting. I had told both of them to stop screaming. I had grabbed the salt shaker, and I had thrown it towards the kitchen for dramatic effect. Unfortunately, Elizabeth walked in front of this.
That's when I felt the whack in the back of my head. My whole vision was blurry. My head was ringing like a bell. I could hear that sound radiating from my skull. Blood was like right here. It went down my neck. I went to the hospital, got 4 stitches. Justin was arrested for domestic violence and assault with a deadly weapon.
You were arrested, and let me make a point here. Even you admit you don't think he was trying to hit you in the back of the head with a salt shaker, but that's what happens when things get so animated, when things get so out of control. People can get hurt even by accident.
Yes. It's still unacceptable behavior.
Yeah, it's definitely unacceptable behavior.
If I was 5'1" and 130 pounds, you'd whoop my ass.
No, actually, I wouldn't.
Yes, you would. You are a firecracker. And I'm going to tell you something. I love you. That's why I'm here.
I love you too, honey. That's why I called this show. I'm just
But
tired
this
of
has got
fighting.
to stop. If he can't fix this,
We're
you know,
done.
you
Yeah.
you already know.
Yeah, we're done.
No pressure. Now, when you were growing up, you said your mother tried several times to kill you.
She tried stabbing me. She tried shooting me. She hung me from a fishing line from a ceiling fan. She tried smothering me. I've had a lot of past traumas that have affected my parenting. I'm a filicide survivor. My mom tried to kill me many times. She tried poisoning me, shooting me, stabbing me, and starving me. She sent me to my grandmother's house when I was 5 years old. Her last words to me were, "I hope you get kidnapped." My mom died when I was 17 years old, and I didn't even go to her funeral. I was like, good riddance. More trauma continued throughout my life. I was molested from the ages of 5 to 8 years old. At 20 years old, I was raped and beaten. I have several disorders from all this trauma. I have mild fetal alcohol syndrome, PTSD, borderline personality disorder, major depressive disorder. Because of this trauma, I take out my aggression on my kids. I feel sad. I feel ashamed. I just wanted to walk away because I'm afraid I might hurt them like my mother did to me.
No child should have to go through that or live with those memories, and I'm so sorry that that happened to you. I mean,
I know,
look at me.
I could tell.
I'm really sorry that happened to you. That's not okay.
That's why I keep my distance from the kids, because I don't know how to interact with them properly, and I'm afraid that I'm going to mess them up like my mother did to me.
You should understand that you're living with someone that has very deeply ingrained open wounds, and the last thing in the world she needs is to be fronted out in the way that you're doing. I mean, it's kind of like you're targeting the very things that she's most vulnerable about, and that's not ever going to work. And I'm going to talk about what needs to happen here. I mean, both of you are violating each other's fundamental dignities here. Justin's mother, Karen, says her son's relationship with Elizabeth is unfixable, and it's far past time that they split up for the sake of their children. We'll meet Karen after the break.
I believe living in Elizabeth and Justin's house is having a very negative effect on my grandchildren. You guys understand what you're doing to these two little girls?
I do.
Your animosity is doing something to them that you don't even understand. Their house is a war zone, and those kids are caught in the crossfire.
New Dr. Phil, a killer brought to justice.
He's been convicted of killing your son. If you guys hadn't pushed, I don't believe he would have been held to account.
I was not going to let that happen.
That's tomorrow.
Closed captioning provided by...
One of the biggest issues between Justin and I is our clashing parenting styles. I think there should be discipline and spanking, but Justin just wants to talk to the girls.
Children are a lot like puppies. You have to use calm assertiveness. 99% of the time, when I ask my children to do something, they do it. But when it comes to Elizabeth, there's nothing but chaos and calamity.
Justin is also way overprotective of the girls. He doesn't want them out of the house. He won't even let his own mother watch them.
Justin's mother, Karen, says her son's relationship with Elizabeth is just completely toxic. Their home is complete chaos, and the children are caught right square in the middle.
I have to play referee between Justin and Elizabeth all the time. Boy, I tell you what, I brought you in this world, I will take you out. I have no problem with that. Their house is a war zone, and those kids are caught in the crossfire. You guys understand what you're doing to these two little girls?
I do.
Your animosity is doing something to them that you don't even understand. I believe living in that house is having a very negative effect on my grandchildren. At the beginning of their relationship, Liz was very passive and listened to everything Justin said. Now that they have children, she is standing up to Justin, and that's a huge issue for someone who is such a control freak. You know everything, correct?
I'm a
Your
smart
way
ass.
or the highway, isn't it, Justin?
Yes, it is.
Right. How does that bode for this woman over here? Justin mopes around all day. He won't get a job. He doesn't want to provide for his family because he's playing video games all day. Elizabeth doesn't have a calm voice. Everything is negative. Elizabeth, Justin, and the kids were staying at my house. I asked Elizabeth to help clean the house, and she refused. And I said, in probably a bit of a confrontational way, it just had to be done. I guess she had gotten mad because she had pulled my lemon tree out of a pot. I said, how dare you, to Elizabeth. Elizabeth grabbed my hair and pulled me down to the floor. And then she started hitting me. And then she went outside and tried to cut my cable line with some scissors, which is so bizarre. In my opinion, the best case scenario would be for Justin and Liz to separate. I don't think their relationship is fixable. Worst case scenario, they stay together and screw up my grandchildren for life.
Karen, thank you for being here.
Thank you for having us.
You were shaking your head like you didn't attack her and pull her hair and try to cut her
I
cable.
pulled her hair, but I didn't hit her. And I did try to cut the cable line outside.
What the hell's a cable cord got to do with it?
I was angry. Like I said, I do crazy things when I'm upset. And trust me, afterwards, I feel like complete garbage.
Why aren't you working?
COVID.
Justin, that is such crap. I am so sorry.
Okay, then
You
why
want to
don't
sit
you
up all night and play your video games.
Really? So that stopped me
Don't
from putting in
lie.
applications?
Yeah.
Why don't you find me a job that doesn't require a vaccine?
You're a
Hold
grown
on, may
man.
I
You
talk?
want me to
May
find
I
you a
talk?
job?
May I
Thank you
talk?
very much, but
You
no,
asked the
thank
question,
you.
may I talk?
Go ahead. Hold on.
Can I interrupt?
It's
Yeah,
your show.
please.
Sorry.
Why aren't you working?
Laziness.
Okay.
There you go.
I'll
Honest answer, finally.
Can I say the second part?
It would no.
Can I say something? After
No,
you?
no,
Sorry.
no,
Sorry.
no. It would do you wonders if you were observing yourself working. Your self-esteem is going to go vertical, and you're not going to be sitting home obsessing about something that happened years ago. You're instead going to be broadening your horizons, increasing your self-worth and self-esteem, instead of impacting your children. Because let me tell you something. What you two are doing is not just impacting your children in the moment, it is changing who they are. Children that grow up in a home with domestic violence, let me assure you, there is something called HPA, and it's the HPA axis, and that's the hypothalamic pituitary adrenal. HPA axis. And what happens here is it changes the anatomy of their brain. If you take children that are living in a domestic violence situation and you scan their brains and take children who are not and scan their brains, they are different. It actually changes their brain anatomy, and it's involved in the stress response. And so they are at risk for depression, anxiety, and even schizophrenia in adulthood. You are changing the brains of your daughters.
Sounds familiar, doesn't it?
I don't mean, I know I do some messed up things.
Yeah, you say, sound familiar, doesn't it? You're just saying you know what you're doing, and you're doing it anyway.
Exactly.
You're trying to pin something on her and making a confession of your own. You two are abusing these children. Justin believes it's far past time he left Elizabeth, but first wanted my take on the situation, and I'm going to give it to him right after the break. For being here today, we have a special treat for you. Everybody is going home with an assortment of 100% vegan desserts from female-owned Vegan Madness.
Vegan Madness was created by a baking mother who veganized recipes because her child had dairy allergies.
Every dessert is 100% plant-based, and some are also gluten-free.
All of their products are absolutely delicious and come in a very wide variety.
The creator of Vegan Madness, Carla, is in the audience. Hi.
Hi.
Now, Carla, you figured out what caused your daughter's food allergies, so how did you go from baking for her to baking for the masses?
Well, it was my passion and love for baking for my family that inspired me to create Vegan Madness, and now I can share all my desserts with the world.
So, look, thank you for all the treats for everybody. So you started this out at home. So where do people find them now? They're like everywhere, right?
Yes, they're everywhere, all over Los Angeles. I'm very excited to say we just launched in Bristol Farms last week. And next is Whole Foods and Gelson's. You can find all of our locations on veganmadness.com and follow me on Instagram.
Oh, cool. All right. So, audience, take out the numbers that we were giving to you when you arrive, because we're going to raffle the basket on the table here with all 9 desserts. So, Robin, crank it up.
I love this.
Let's see who the lucky number is.
Okay.
All right.
I'm going to draw out the
Pull it out.
number.
Pull it out. Don't cheat.
I won't cheat. I don't know how you can cheat and raffle,
Well,
but okay.
if I win, there's going to be trouble.
Okay, I have the number. I'm opening it up. Philip, read it out.
174. Who's got one? Oh, right there. 174.
Oh.
All right. Congratulations. All right. For more information, go to veganmadness.com. Thanks for being here. We'll see you next time.
I'm Coach Mike Bear, and Dr. Phil has asked me to speak to everyday people to find out what areas of their life they're stuck in.
I'm a mother of 5, I work, and so just, not making time for myself.
The number one thing you want to change about yourself is?
It'll be communicating with my significant other.
Insecurities.
What is one thing that you would never put up with in your relationship, but you have in the past?
Disloyalty.
Non-transparency.
The number one thing I want to change about myself is?
Take even more risks. I want to be more outgoing.
I hate that I blank, but don't do anything about it.
I hate that I don't listen very well sometimes.
What is one decision you can make today that's going to better your life?
Give love to self.
I'm going to give you a hug.
Now, I'd like to introduce my good friend and colleague, life coach Mike Bear. And as you just saw, I sent Coach Mike on a very special assignment to try to figure out if and why so many people get stuck in situations where they know they deserve more. So, Coach, thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.
So, what was the general gist of, additionally, what you learned out there?
What I learned is everyone is stuck in their own way, and some of the stucks are really dug into the ground, and some stucks, they just need a little nudge. Everyone has that area of their life they know they need to change, and until they stop blaming another person, they don't change it.
Sometimes days turn into weeks, weeks turn into months, and a new normal's created, and that's what's happened here.
I heard that they both said they love each other. This doesn't feel like love. This feels like two people who are afraid to be alone.
Right.
You've got to be adult enough to make some decisions that are selfless. You got to make some decisions that say, I'm a fiduciary. I put my children's interest ahead of my own. And right now, these children are picking up the tab. They're paying the price for your immaturity.
Yeah.
I mean, both of you are behaving with a mental age of about 12 or 13. You are having serious anxiety.
Yes, sir.
And it's causing you to vent. And you've got this popularity contest going on where you refer to you and the girls as we. Well, we shouldn't be treating mommy this way. We shouldn't be doing this. The only we here is the family. But you have gotten these girls where they have chosen sides. You say they're daddy's girls. These are daddy's girls. Well, okay, she has trouble bonding. I get that. I understand why you have trouble bonding. You don't trust yourself in that situation, and you're exploiting that fully, and shame on you for doing that. Shame on you for doing that. And you say that you caught her cyber cheating, and it's given you license to be a loudmouth bully. That's no way to be a father. That's no way to be a husband. That's no way to be a partner. You've got to decide you're either going to put that behind you, or you two need to decide you're going to end this toxic, sick, battering relationship between you, because this is not love. Whatever you call love, this ain't it. Next, 2 things this couple needs to get rid of if they ever want to move forward. Dr. Phil, visit our website and subscribe to our newsletter. You'll get weekly updates, live strategies, and exclusive video that you won't find anywhere else. Plus, on drphil.com, you can see sneak previews of upcoming shows. Log on today. You're hiding in the phone.
Yes.
Yes.
You're escaping into the phone. And let me tell you something.
She's checking
all
out.
those people on the phone, all those people on Twitter and Facebook and this, that, and the other, when things fall apart and you got to have surgery or one of your kids gets sick or something happens, I guarantee you they're not going to rush over to your house and help you. And you're doing it at the expense of developing a relationship with your children and the people in your life that are actually there. You're just escaping into that phone to avoid dealing with what you need to deal with.
Just like how I told you, I hide in the video game.
Both y'all get rid of your damn devices and pay attention to your children. How about that? Because those kids are the ones ruling the show. That 7-year-old acting like more of an adult in your household than either one of y'all.
Yeah, I know.
Let me just put a button on this here. You have these children living in an abusive environment. And I'm a mandated reporter. That means I have to do one of 2 things. I either have to know that there is a plan, active, implemented plan to bring about change immediately here, or I have to report this. Because these children are being abused.
Right.
If you believe that she cheated on you and you can't ever get over it, then you need to move on.
Amen.
If you want to try and keep this family intact, I will set you up with Doctor on Demand immediately. I'm talking about tomorrow.
Please do.
To set the 2 of you down and start putting together a plan with some guidelines for conduct inside the home. And it's going to start with what you don't do, that you have to have enough self-control to zip it in front of the children.
Yes.
And let them live in some peace where they understand that you are a united front, whether you stay together or whether you don't. Ultimately, that you are a united front. But you have to agree that you're going to participate in that.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
And you can be our eyes and ears.
Absolutely.
Because once we set that up, then that's between you and them. I'm out of it. They don't report back to me. They don't tell me. That's between them and you. But you're going to have to do that immediately, because I can't let those children continue to live in this battlefield of toxicity.
Okay.
You agree?
I agree 100%.
And as it goes, you 2 will either find some peace or you won't, and you'll either decide you're going to co-parent or you're going to stay together. That'll be between you and the therapist.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I want to thank all of my guests today. A special thanks to my dear friend, Coach Mike Baer. Mike, thanks for getting out on the street and doing this. If you at home want to have your own Doctor on Demand, the company my son Jay and I started, go to Google Play Store or the Apple App Store and download the Doctor on Demand app. For more information about today's episode, log on to drphil.com. Don't forget to subscribe to my podcast, Fill in the Blanks, where I provide tools and techniques to spot a con artist and build a resilient child or navigate difficult relationships. You can find it right there. And check out Robin's podcast, I've Got a Secret with Robin McGraw. Whether you're looking for a secret to keeping your head up or the neuroscience secret of feeling good, Robin covers it all. Listen for free on Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen to podcasts. Stay safe. We'll see you next time.